Whispering Shadows, the Forgotten Town. It begins with rain, a heavy, relentless downpour that obscures the sky and drowns the world in dismal gray. Through the mist, a solitary figure trudges forward, hood drawn, wheeling a small suitcase behind them. This is Alex, our protagonist. Tired, soaked, and unfamiliar with their surroundings, they gaze up at the town's faded welcome sign, barely illuminated by a flickering street lamp. Welcome to Blackridge, a town of history and mystery. Alex is an outsider. They've come here to write, or perhaps to escape. But Blackridge isn't any ordinary place. It's where the shadows stretch a little too far, and every corner harbors a secret waiting to be whispered. Their temporary home is the old Cromwell Inn, a creaking relic of a bygone era run by an odd but polite man, Marcus. Marcus hands over the room key as he shoots Alex a wary glance. "You're the first guest we've had in months. You might find it quiet here," he says, his voice carrying a faint tremor. Alex dismisses the words as mere small talk. But even as they climb the stairs to their room, they feel it. Something watching. And when Alex stops to glance back, there's nothing. Night falls harder in Blackridge than anywhere Alex has ever been. The room is dim, lit only by the warm amber of a desk lamp as Alex unpacks their few belongings. Exhausted from their travels, they collapse into an armchair, only to hear a faint knock. No, more of a tap coming from the window. Sliding the curtain aside, they peer into the rain. Nothing is there, just the endless sheets of water cascading down the glass. They shut the curtain and turn away, but their suitcase is no longer where they left it. It rests at the foot of the bed now, unlatched, a single item sitting atop their clothes that Alex swears they did not pack, an old, creased, leather-bound journal. Confused but intrigued, Alex takes the journal to their desk. It smells of damp wood and dust, its pages yellowed with age. The script inside spirals, elegant but fragmented, much of the text stained beyond recognition. Only one legible line stands out across the first page. Whoever reads this has heard it too, the whispers in the shadows. Alex stares at those words, the whisper of the storm outside suddenly louder, more insistent. Blackridge is empty by day, lifeless even. Alex spends the morning exploring its cracked cobblestones, browsing decayed storefronts, and catching glimpses of long-abandoned houses with curtains drawn shut. The people they encounter, the few that exist, avoid eye contact, mumbling excuses when approached. At the general store, Alex meets a woman named Edith, hunched and jittery, perhaps in her 60s. "You new here?" Edith asks sharply, looking around as though checking whether anyone else is listening. Alex mentions the journal, hoping for leads. Edith's face pales immediately. Her voice drops to a trembling whisper. "Stay away from the old grounds up north. Stay in the light, and if you hear it, don't reply." Confused and unnerved, Alex returns to the inn, clutching the journal closer than before. That evening, with the rain having settled into a rhythmic drizzle, Alex fights off sleep in favor of studying the cryptic book. The pages seem to stretch impossibly deep the more they read, despite the thinness of the volume itself. The name Blackridge appears frequently, alongside drawings of ominous doorways and shadowy clawed figures etched into the corners. Then comes the sound, faint, almost imperceptible at first, like an exhalation of breath in the otherwise silent room. A whisper. Alex freezes, convinced it's the howling wind outside. But no, there it is again. Words they can't quite make out, threading themselves through the air. The walls seem closer now, the room darker, and then finally, clear as a bell and haunting as a scream, a voice. "Do you see them too?" Shaking hands slam the journal shut. Alex searches the room desperately, their breathing ragged. There's no one there. Their phone screen flickers briefly before going dead, the charge inexplicably drained. A floorboard in the hallway creaks. Marcus doesn't answer when Alex shouts for him. The whispers, a rising cacophony, return louder and closer now. The door to the room rattles in its hinges, though Alex hasn't moved. And then silence. Alex spends the rest of the night huddled in a corner, journal in hand, staring at shadows that seem to crawl along the walls. When daylight finally comes, it doesn't feel like salvation. The next morning, Alex demands answers from Marcus, but Marcus, solemn and jittery, plays coy. "Best if you let sleeping ghosts lie," he says cryptically before recommending Alex speak to Eleanor, Edith's sister and the self-proclaimed town historian. Eleanor is different from her sister. Calm, calculated, but no less unnerving. Her small library contains maps of the town, collections of photos and journals far older yet hauntingly similar to the one Alex found. "It's not just the journal," Eleanor warns after flipping through her own copy. "It's this place. It keeps them here, the shadows, feeding on anyone who stays too long. Whatever you've seen or heard, it's only the beginning." According to Eleanor, many who have entered the town simply disappear, their belongings turning up weeks later in strange places. In whispers, Blackridge has become known as a ghost snare, trapping its victims in an endless loop of fear, just as they've been lured into this game. But Eleanor's words trail off. "There's a way out," she mutters at last, hesitant, but only if you're willing to see the truth and face what's waiting in the dark. That night, under Eleanor's instruction, Alex ventures to the town's northern edge, to the ruins of an old monastery that has long since collapsed into twisted stone and ash. The air is colder there, suffocatingly still. Eleanor had warned them to push forward only if they were willing to confront their own fears, for the monastery marks the threshold, a place where shadow and reality intertwine. Entry comes with a cost, paid not in coin, but in memories, or worse. Inside, the journal seems to react, its pages flipping wildly as though alive. The words upon the paper no longer look like ink, but like something oozing, shifting unnervingly under Alex's fingertips. Shapes begin to form in the darkness, figures draped in shadow shifting, crawling closer. They whisper as they move, their voices layered and chilling. "Stay, play, you are one of us now." Alex feels their breath quicken, their knees weaken, heart pounding. They focus on the journal's open page and barely make out the cryptic instructions etched in the center. To escape the nightmare, one must light the darkest corner. Summoning every ounce of courage, Alex fumbles through their bag, pulling out an old lighter. The whispers howl in protest now, deafening as the shadows coil tighter. In the farthest corner of the monastery ruins, hidden beneath the rubble, Alex notices something etched into the stone, a crude, haunting symbol, identical to the drawings in the journal. As the flame illuminates it, the ground trembles and the shadows rear back, not defeated but imprisoned once more, confined to the place that birthed them. The whispers fade, leaving only utter silence and the shallow breathing of a traumatized Alex. Alex stumbles back to the inn, determined to leave Blackridge at first light. The rain stops as dawn breaks, distant streaks of amber cutting through the gray skies. But something feels off. As they load their suitcase into the car, Alex notices the journal tucked amongst their belongings. Their heart sinks. Wait, didn't they leave it on the desk? Turning for one last glance at the inn, Alex notices Marcus standing at the doorway. He grins faintly, tilting his head unnaturally as he mutters a single phrase under his breath, a whisper Alex faintly hears. "Welcome to Blackridge, a town of history and mystery." And with that, the car engine sputters and dies, the sky darkens once more, and the whispers return, louder than ever before. Blackridge doesn't let its guests leave easily. Would you dare step foot in its shadows? The end is just the beginning, for those who can still hear the whispers. If this tale has captured your imagination and sent chills down your spine, consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video and sharing it with those who dare to wander into the darkness. Together, we can spread the shadows further.